Hello and welcome, Adam Thomas from Balancing Touch Reflexology. So good to see you, and thanks for joining me today. We are going to explore how I set up for a hand reflexology session. So you can see here, this is how I'm typically set up, well, without this. Typically set up for foot reflexology. So same thing, I have knee support under here, and then I'm working on the feet. For me, when I get asked to do hand reflexology, it tends to be as an add-on and complement to the foot reflexology. So the session I will work on the feet, and then I'll go work on the hands. And so I wanted to show you today how I set up and work on the hands in this on this chair, because I don't like to switch to a whole different system, right? So one key component here is that I have a nice little rolly stool, and so I can come right over here and work on the hand here. Okay, so I like to set up on the side of the chair here, and I tuck myself in nice and close so that I can actually use my lap if I need to rest the hand on. I also have a couple more of these pillows, the same ones that I use under the knee. They tend to be a good size, so I have a couple of them. Again, I put the towel over, that way I can, because I do use oil on the hand as well as I do at the end of a session with the feet. So that way it can be all, the towel can get all oily and I don't mess up or get my pillows dirty, right? So this is how I would set up, and it's nice and comfortable for the client as well. You can use a bigger pillow if you need to, like just the standard pillow size will work as well. It tends to be a little bit bulky, so I like this size. But if you need to use the other one, that's great too. So that's how I would set up, right? So you can kind of do that, or you can do over like this. So I'm using my lap right now to rest the arm. And so while I'm here, I might as well just show you a couple warm-up or desserts, I like to call them, right? So first one that I'd like to show is just opening the hand up. So I'll flip over the hand, and this is a good position to be in too. So keeping their arm kind of nice and straight, resting on here, nice and supported, because if it was just like this, it's uncomfortable there because her elbow is going to be digging into the chair, right? So it's nice to have the pillow supporting as close to the elbow as possible where it bends, right? And so this, to me, again, is a nice shape and size to work with. Okay, so to open up the hand, I go like that with my hands, and I'm going to fit them in and match them up so that your ring finger and pinky finger fit kind of opposite into the valleys of the pinky and ring in middle. Okay, so you can see that there. Then with this one, I'm going to go like this. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep my middle and ring finger together, and I'm going to put that in the gap between the index and thumb, and then I'm going to go like this. Okay, and the key to this one is to really get your hands deep into into the webbing, right? Then simple, all you do is you drop your hands open. Okay, so you just have to drop your hands, and naturally on the back here your hands are going to create a nice little support system, right? So like that, and then you drop it, and you can see all the white and the red starting to show up, and that's where the white is obviously where circulation is not happening, and the red is where it pools up, right? So this is just showing you that it's a nice big stretch. Okay, so I just like to hold it for a little bit there. And in this position as well, so at the end of the session, you can have a little bit of oil on here, and you can still do this technique, and it would be key when it's oily to actually get your hands nice and deep and get the technique great, because or else you just kind of slip all over the place, right? So having set up properly, you can still stretch when there's oil on the hands, right? So nice and open, and you can actually do anything that you want here, right? Because her hands are dry right now, I don't like to stretch the skin too much, because especially being winter time and that sort of thing, and people have drier skin, it can actually kind of irritate the skin, right? So you don't want to do that too much. So you could do a little dot to dot, which we've learnt in the on the foot, right? So same idea. One thing to get used to here, I have kind of big hands, so this might be uncomfortable for you. The right hand here will be pretty standard. This hand over here might be a little bit uncomfortable for you. So what you can do is just use your pinky, and you can also do this too, and just use your pinky, especially when you're doing some more palm work. That way you'll have a little bit more, it's easier for you to work your hands around like this, right? If you're like this, you're limited to move your thumbs around, right? Whereas if you just kind of change your position, you can move around more free, right? So that's another option as well. So I like to use, so it's basically like two now, right? You have two combos. You have number one here, which I explained, and then you can just do pinky to pinky and pinky to thumb, and also you can stretch it out that way. It doesn't give a good stretch, and it's a little bit harder to do because you're missing out the whole palm here. But when you're actually working, or wanting to do other stuff on the palm, or little massages or things like this, this is probably easier to work for yourself, right? Still opens the hand, and then you can actually work. Okay, so that's one little dessert. Another one that I want to show you, it's kind of like a squishy box, I call it. So I'll show you on the thumb here, because it's on all the fingers. And this also works the eyes and the ears, which is a nice little bonus. So the way that it works is you're going to use your index finger, thumb this way, and then you're going to come, and it's going to be index finger this way. So if the finger is not there, you're creating, where is it? Right there. So if the finger is not there, you're creating this little box, okay? And what I mean by squishy box is you're going to actually squish, okay? So, for example, it looks like this. Okay, so my left hand is going to squish, and then my right hand's going to squish. Then you're going to move up, squish, squish. Okay, all the way up, and then I like to end right at the nail bed here, right across. And if you're versed in acupuncture or anything like that, there's points at the nail beds, right, as you're working. So again, it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So around 10 moves. Right. And then if we switch to here. Okay, so on the side and the top. Sides, one hand goes on the sides, one is going to go on the top and the bottom. So squish, squish, move, squish, move, squish. Right, and you just walk your way up. So it takes a little bit of coordination to get used to. And I'm using good pressure too. Like I'm not just lightly going back and forth like this. I'm actually like really squishing. Okay, and I just like to hold right there. Good. This finger, squish, 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 squish. Hold there. Next finger. Good. And I just, as I was doing this, I noticed that I also do a nice little pull off here. Okay, so I'll throw you on the middle finger here. So squish, 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 come up to there. And then I like to take this hand and just give a nice little raking with my finger and just slide off. Okay? Something to be aware of here is if anybody has ingrown nails, if you notice here, I'm not stopping at the corner. Here, I'll just zoom in again. So if you notice, I'm not stopping right here. Okay, I'm actually stopping where this hand is already. So it's at the nail bed where I stop. Because here, it can actually hurt. And especially, I've already mentioned that, it's wintertime now, and people get lots of like hangnails and things like that on the side. So it can be really sore. But stopping right there is going to be totally fine. Okay? So not here, there. So you come up, and stop there. And then also with the slide off, not too much pressure on the top of the nail, and the bottom I just rake it. Okay? Just like that. So I'm using the thumb as a support more than the actual work. The finger underneath is actually doing the nice pull off there. Okay? So there you go. That's a nice little way to work the hand, and I just call that the squishy box because of the setup, right? Another one that I can show you is just to loosen up the wrist. Okay, and I like to work in this position here. I also like to, I notice when I'm working, is to take my supporting hand and just give a nice gentle like hold on the arm. Because if I'm moving this around, see how the forearm flops around? So by just putting this, your hand up on top here, it stops it, right? And then that way you can isolate the movement more in the wrist, right? Because if you're just kind of doing this, the arm flops around and you don't really get, a good isolation of moving around the wrist, which is what this movement is doing. So you can grab like a handshake too. So there's a bunch of different ways of working this. I'm going to show you this way because I'm already in this position, but like grab like you're shaking, saying hello. Again, hand up here, just giving a nice comforting support. And then you can just bring your arm up and bring your arm down. And you can bring it this way and bring it this way. Okay? So some of these movements feel a little bit awkward. You can also do like this type of a grip as well, especially when you switch to there. You can also let it go and notice this hand moved up, but just you can give a little bit of pressure that way. Just be very careful not to just, push hard there because it's weakness that way. Right? But it is good to just kind of see how far their wrist will bend. So I'll bring it back this way. I'll switch hands to push this way and up and down. So to get the down movement, my supporting hand automatically lifted up a little bit and then that way. Right, and you can do a nice little rotation that way as well. You can also do this way by similar to when you're working on the feet. So fingers on the back here, lifting up, right, just to see how much movement you have there. Move back and forth. So the difference with the hand and the feet is that the hand is way more able to move around, right? The feet stay relatively in this position most of the time, right? So they stay there and you can work on it. But the hand, you just have to get used to it being able to move all over the place, right? So there you go there, and go back the other way. But this supporting hand is really important, or else, you know, that doesn't do anything, right? So there. So by doing this, it's also really great for the ankle, and it's really good for the hip area there. So those are some little warm-ups, and these are really great to get you used to working with the hand, because as I said already, the hand is way more flexible, and there's way more movement when you're working on the hand, right, than the feet. The feet stay in a relatively locked position, right? So there you go. That's how I set up and I work hand reflexology. Rolly chair, rolly stool. Yay. So there you go. That's how I set up and work with hand reflexology. If a client was coming to do just hand reflexology, I'd probably set them up. I find it really great to work on a table, but this chair works really well in either case. So if somebody did come for hand reflexology, this might be a great way to set them up as well, because it's very comfortable for the person. This chair is you know, zero gravity, it's called, and it's just a very comfortable chair. And for me to work, it's nice and easy too. It's at the right height, and I can use my lap, right, as you saw in the video. So hope that helps. Let me know how you do your hand reflexology. You can just leave a comment below. Yeah, so until next time, Adam Thomas from Balancing Touch. Remember to keep those feet and hands happy. See you later. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for watching today. If you're interested in reflexology, this might be a channel to subscribe to. If you haven't already, hit, or better yet, step on that bell icon, and then you'll be notified when the next video is coming out. If you're looking for a reflexology chart, head on over to balancingtouch.ca. We have created a bunch of visually exciting, easy to understand reflexology charts for you. And if you have some more time, check out some other videos. Till next time, this is Adam Thomas from balancingtouch.ca. See you later.